This is Larry Culpepper. I love college football so much that I went ahead and came up with the idea of the playoff for it. And the only way I can get ready for each and every Saturday of college football is by listening to the Championship Drive podcast.
Welcome to Highly Questionable. I'm Clinton Yates. The kids call me Young Yates. This guy over here is someone else's father, Gonzalo, a.k.a. Papi. And that guy over there is Rolex Rollo, a.k.a. Dominique Foxworth. What do you like today?
Don't be hating, jealous of the Rolly. What do I like on the show today? Me. I'm here today. That's what I like. Vamos, Papi.
Could Matt Ryan be both the MVP and the second best players on his own team?
He definitely is. While it's clear that Julio Jones is the best player on the team, Matt's most valuable because there aren't very many good quarterbacks in the league. So he's more valuable, but he's no Julio Jones.
This is exactly the point, though. There's elite, and then there's a bunch of bums. As far as Matt Ryan is concerned, that's a guy you want on your team. Let's think of a guy like Hopkins in Houston. You think he doesn't want Matt Ryan? Let's look at Deshaun Jackson. You think he doesn't want Matt Ryan? Value is more important than the alleged concept of good. And in this case, the Falcons' offense is what it is because Matt Ryan knows how to get it to his weapons. That is paramount.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's having a great season right now, as he normally does at the beginning of all seasons. But when this season started, did anybody want Matt Ryan as their quarterback? No one was talking about him in the MVP conversation. He is now, in large part, because Julio Jones is unguardable.
And what is this league in the NFL? It is a league of now. So if you're telling me a guy is the one who can find him that well, I'm never going to say no to that. Matt Ryan is playing as good as he's played in his entire career and has already been in the Pro Bowl 3 times. I'll take that over some evaluation from some scout that I don't care about.
I believe you mean Julio Jones, you know? He's okay. He's new around here. You know, he doesn't know the Latino players here.
What'd you say about my Jones?
Julio Jones. Do you think Mike Evans regrets making this catch?
All right, we're going to look at this right now. I was in the third quarter last night in Thursday Night Football, and heck of a grab here along the sidelines, but he gets absolutely drilled. Look at that. I mean, I'm sorry, if that's not defenseless, I don't know what is. What is the point of the rule if you are going to be able to make a catch like that and have your entire body squared open and get drilled like that on the sideline?
It certainly seems like something that they've tried to legislate out of the league, but the question was, does he regret making the catch? And as the only person in a tie here, I like to stick close to the rules. So I don't think he regrets making the catch. It's a phenomenal catch, a memorable catch, and he's not out for any extended time. And I'm not sure that they actually made contact with his head, despite the fact that it was an ugly hit.
Important question. Do we know if he's out next game?
I don't know.
Do you miss a game check if you're out with a concussion?
No. You don't never, ever miss a game check, and that will be cause for regret if you miss a game check. The only way you miss a game check is if you get suspended, and the person on the other team was not suspended. Game checks all around.
In that case, yeah, you don't regret it, but he took a hell of a hit right there. And again, if you're the Rules Commission, you got to understand this is defenseless. There's nothing else that you can define it as. And I'm sorry, it was a dangerous play all around. Probably should have been a flag, but it wasn't.
I bet that he doesn't regret it. I bet that he doesn't even remember it. He's still walking around, you know. What happened? Did we win? Did we lose? What happened?
What day is it? That's a question I ask myself every single time I wake up.
This is all funny to everyone who never played football. Ha, ha, ha. Give chuckles, CTE. Ha, ha, ha,
ha. This guy wants us to think that he played football.
Allegedly.
Don't make me come out the tie. Don't let the tie fool you. There's still a couple left in this six-pack.
I'm fairly certain I can count his career picks on 2 hands, maybe.
I'm fairly certain that I can count the commas in your bank account on 1 finger, maybe 0.
0 fingers, 1 fist. Trust me on that.
2-comma crew over here.
How do you think Russell Westbrook sees Kevin Durant after he lit up the Thunder?
He sees him as he's always seen him, as one of the best players in NBA history. He dunked all over their team. He scored 39 points. I don't think it was a surprise to anyone. And they had a little bit of a cold shoulder situation before the game started. There was no camaraderie, no hug, no dap, no pound. It was marvelous.
He sees him as somebody to whom he has lost the psychological battle. This is obvious. KD is out here taking his old handshakes to his new team, which, if you know anything about breaking up, is sort of like taking your new girl to the spot you used to go with your old girl to. You can't do that. that unless you're absolutely trying to disrespect the old person. You better believe that Russell Westbrook is going to be subtweeting this guy all season, and it is the best storyline in the NBA in 10 years.
The psychological battle is absurd.
He also lost the real battle. They got blown out by nearly 40 points. What are we talking about here?
He only lost the psychological battle because he has a better team. He would have won the psychological battle if Westbrook happened to be on another team. That's foolishness and nonsense.
Why do you play, Dom? You play to win the game. In this scenario, I believe the Warriors dominated this situation.
That's fine, but implying that somehow he got into his head and he lost the psychological battle is ridiculous. No one can beat my man Russ in the psychological battle.
So why'd he show up in the pregame wearing something alluding to good old KD?
Because that's what you do with friends, not with people you hate. Russell Westbrook, notorious Taylor Swift fan, will just shake it off and get back out there and drop a triple-double next week.
Shouts to Tay-Tay.
Shout out T.
Is Richard Sherman right that the ratings are down because the NFL is no longer fun?
Well, we have some footage of Richard Sherman complaining about the league trying to control the product and reduce entertainment. Let's hear it.
The league isn't fun anymore. Every other league, you see the players have a good time. It's a game. This isn't politics. This isn't justice. This is entertainment. And they're no longer allowing the players to entertain. They're no longer allowing the players to show any kind of personality, any kind of uniqueness, any individuality, because they want to control the product. They want to control the messaging, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely right. And as a former DB, the worst thing in this league is the scourge that is pass interference penalties. No one comes to the game to watch that. Like, what's the worst possible thing that could happen when you throw a ball deep? Is that nothing happens and they throw a flag. I would love to celebrate a great offensive play. I would love to celebrate a great defensive play. But no, we don't get either. We get a flag.
The other problem is that the NFL has outdone itself in terms of everything other than the actual product on the field. As a product, the NFL is fun. As a game of football, it's not. Fantasy football, hanging out with your friends, watching everything else on TV, certainly not going to games where you got people like Bill's Mafia doing crazy stuff in the parking lot. Everything surrounding football is fun, except for the actual football game on the field. So that's an issue, and that's why people don't want to bother to, watch it anymore, because there's no point. I don't even actually care about who wins or loses necessarily. As long as the parts of Sunday that I enjoy are fulfilling me, I'm going to go ahead and be a fan anyway.
And I think Richard nailed it on the head with the NFL wanting to control the product. That goes back many years in many fights with the union. The league wants to present a nice, clean product that they can sell to sponsors. And if they have players, rogue players with this personality or image that they don't think is marketable, that's a problem. That's why they regulate on-field performances and dances and those sorts of things. All those things draw the character out of the players and out of the league. And it makes it a lot cleaner and more palatable to sell to, say, Budweiser.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And now the NFL used to be a 1-day, 2-day-a-week league. Now they're a 7-day-a-week league, and there's no point in tuning in on Sundays anymore.
Well, I got a solution to the problem. You got to replace the commission. Fidel Godé has been on that job for too long. He doesn't have creativity anymore. The ratings are down. You got to make a move. All the owners said you just replace the guy, get somebody else. You need some fresh blood, new ideas, a new image for the NFL.
How many zeros are in his bank account, Tom?
I don't know, but we need to transfer those over to Poppy's bank account. I think Poppy for commissioner. Let's start that. Hashtag Poppy Commish.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
Were you there the day in the clubhouse where Albert Bell, did he take a bat to the thermometer or the stereo? What did he take? He broke the thermostat.
He broke the thermostat to keep the temperature that he wanted it at.
Hey, football fans, this is Mel Kiper Jr. On the latest First Draft podcast, Todd McShay and I identify a crisis which must be dealt with in the world of football. Find out what it is when you subscribe to the show in the Listen tab of the ESPN app.
Time for another one of my sexy interview medleys.
This show does a lot of great interviews. Let's look at some of the best bits, kiddos.
Carlos, can you give us the story of a young player who doesn't know who you were, a young player who doesn't believe that you played or is ignorant, doesn't know your resume, and so he's like, oh, you played? You played? I didn't know you played.
Most of the guys, I had the opportunity this year to start going to Dominican for, every month I was in Dominican for 7 days. And most of the guys over there, they don't even know, when the kind of player that I was. And I had to put a video, they had to put a video of myself playing stuff like that because I'm out of shape. I'm overweight. I'm out of shape, and they never saw that I play baseball. So when player development, present myself, and they talk about All-Star game. They talk about all the records that I have, stuff like that. They look at me like, no way. I don't think so. I never see this guy before.
Were you there the day in the clubhouse where Albert Bell, did he take a bat to the thermometer or the stereo? What did he take? He broke the thermostat.
He broke the thermostat to keep the temperature that he wanted it at. I didn't actually see it, but he wanted it the way it was. I think the nickname for him was Mr. Freeze, so he had it at the temperature that he wanted it for sure.
But was there even one guy in there who thought to try him over that? Or did every other 24 just say, "No,
never"?
Really?
He had that much respect. He was our guy. If he wanted to break it, let him break it. If he went out and drove in as many runs and hit as many home runs as he did, so all to him.
Jim, if that guy wasn't you, then there was no guy, right? I mean, Jim, you were the guy who was viewed as physically stronger than anybody in there.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, I had my program. I did what I had to do to prepare and do and he did what his, which we all respected that. Albert, I got to tell you, Albert was a great teammate. He was a great teammate to his teammates, funny. The guy was articulate, had a great sense of humor, and he just had his routine he didn't want to be bothered with.
Well, I got to imagine, obviously, it's very hard to be as successful as you were in two sports. You're a magnificent athlete. Deion Sanders had more notoriety for doing some of the same things. My guess is that he reminded you of this, did he not? Like, as mouthy as he was, my guess is that he said something to you about this.
Well, I mean, Deion was so mad I left football and went and played baseball because, he believed in my talents and, but he didn't understand. I was doing all the hitting. When he wasn't making those tackles, I was making those tackles, and my body was taking a beating. But you know what? My dad always said when I was growing up, he said, I don't care who you are. He said, as my son, you're going to work hard because I don't care if you make the all-star team, there's someone out there better than you. And I got a chance in college to go down to Auburn and play against Bo Jackson. So I remember playing against Bo Jackson in baseball. I called my dad after the game and said, Dad, you're right. This guy, Bo Jackson, is unbelievable. And I left Auburn and then went to Florida State. And who's jumping over the fence from a track meet to put on his baseball uniform? Deion Sanders. I called my dad once again and said, you're right, Dad. It's some great players out here, which really pushed me every day to get better as an athlete because to watch Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, I have nothing but respect for those guys. But I'm sort of the Rodney Dangerfield of both of those guys. I get no respect for playing two sports, guys.
College football lives here. LSU is 3-0 since Ed Orgeron took over as head coach, and they've averaged over 41 points in those 3 wins.
LSU has a significant lead late.
Up next, the #1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide storms into Death Valley for a huge SEC showdown Saturday night.
Fumble! Alabama's got the football!
Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Time to play the game that has 2 new favorite songs. Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question them.
Do you question if the tall guy should have seen it coming?
All right, we're going to parts unknown, apparently, for this one. That's also known as Draymond Green territory. Let's see this. Whoa, what's going on here? First of all, check out this referee's gear. I like that hat. That's a good look. Ooh, drums. Hold on. There's a percussion section.
The tall guy's definitely going to lose, obviously.
He's pointing at him. He's pointing at him. Look at that knee brace. Oh, I flipped you for real. Flipped you for real again. This is a usual suspect situation. What is going on here?
Where's Vince McMahon? Where's Vince McMahon?
Come on.
Is he going to come out
Where's
the back?
the death blow? Wow. Oh, it's over. Just like that.
This is obviously WWE. Vince McMahon is going to come out in some nice little cloth underwear like that and try to sell the next fight, the rematch.
I think that was a big fake, I have seen better little guy, big guys knock out. Watch this.
Uh-oh. What do we got here? Note the jeans on the ref. Oh! I can't even. Oh, that's not good. His body tight. Watch him lock up. He locks up. Everything just goes tight.
That's not good.
No, that's not good. You don't want that. You got to be flexible with it. My man's got the nice jeans on, though. Those are his Friday night jeans. He's going to the club after that. You see that?
That is painful with the snot hanging out. It's all fun and games till somebody gets put to sleep.
That wasn't fake either.
Definitely not.
That was the real deal. Do you question if this is a fun celebration?
All right, everybody knows that the Cubbies won the World Series, and so as a result, their fans are doing crazy stuff. Let's just look at this. Whoa!
What is going on?
These are apparently trust falls that they're doing. I don't know what that thing is.
What's the point?
No way. You see this? The snappers are even completely incredulous. No, this is not fun. There's no way this is fun, Dom. Would you do this?
It's fun if you're watching it. It's not fun if you're participating in it. I know who will never do anything like that, even with people that I know and trust. This guy. I'm good. What do you gain from doing that? What's at the bottom of that besides a concussion?
Somebody that wants to steal your Rolex. I wonder whether or not there is a liability situation in this regard for the Cubs. I mean, what are you doing out here? If somebody dies or cracks a head wide open, God forbid, who is taking responsibility for that?
You know who couldn't do that? Dan. He'll crush the people down there.
Wow. Hi, Dan. Thank you for letting us be here.
Yeah. Time to play the game that is better than you at everything. See or no?
You tell us what to watch on TV tonight. We tell you if we're intrigued or not.
On ESPN, Warriors and Lakers.
All right, the Dubs moved down to SoCal today. To set this up, we've got Ron Artest, a.k.a. Meta World Peace, Queensbridge's finest, at the free throw line. Let's see what's going on.
As World Peace officially changed his name 5 years ago, was a teammate of Luke.
I mean, to be fair to Ron Artest, I'm very intrigued in this because, you know, the guy does love basketball. Basketball saved his life. If you don't know the story of how Ron Artest made it out of the projects in New York, then you cannot have a problem with this at all. Dom, what do you think?
I mean, first of all, it's Meta World Peace. It's his name. You called him Ron Artest, and I do not want Ron Artest or Meta World Peace mad at me. But anyway, I would watch Ron Artest, but I don't want to watch this game. Unless Mark Jackson's doing it.
That's true.
When Mark Jackson does Warrior games, I'm in. So if you let me know that Mark's in, we change it to a C. I got a C, Eno.
Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Listen, I'm going to be watching that game. It's going to be a fight between Steve Kerr and Luke Walton. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of punches being thrown in that fight. You know, I'm going to be watching to see who's going to win.
Who you got?
Oh, I think Steve is going to take Luke down the
money on old man strength.
That's
I see.
Right.
You got, Yachty?
I got Luke Walton all day, swag factor galore.
Saturday on CBS, number 1 Alabama and number 13 LSU.
All right, we got an SEC battle that changed as a result of some coaching situations that turned over in that conference so far. But to set this up, we've got Mac Wilson delivering a hit. Check this out. Oh, that was brutal. What is apparently something comes out of his mask here?
Is that a tooth?
Oh,
is that a tooth?
No, the tooth fairy coming early.
That is, oh my God.
Oh no, I am not intrigued. I do not want to see anybody's teeth falling out of their helmet. That is not okay. Dom, you're a dad. What's the tooth fairy rate going these days?
None of my kids have lost teeth yet, but I'm not intrigued for a very different reason. This rivalry goes all the way back to 1895. And anything that goes back to 1895 and involves Alabama and Louisiana, count me out.
Not here
Count me out. Not doing it. My grandmother told me don't ever go down there after a certain hour. I'll stay up north. Can't wait to get out of here.
Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Listen, that was a cheap shot. You know, that was a cheap shot. But now they're going against LSU. You know, they got a guy there by the name of Leonard Fournette. That guy is going to shred that Alabama defense into pieces. You know, tricky-nicky, this is the one game you're going to lose during the regular season. But Leonard Fournette is after your This is going to be a real good one.
I changed my mind. I'm sold. This man can sell ice to Eskimos. I'm in on that. Sorry, Grandma.
Saturday on NBC, the Breeders' Cup.
The sport of kings. All right, they tell me that I'm supposed to care about this. It's championship horse racing, apparently. Let's look at some footage of horses doing something that doesn't involve eating hay.
Go.
All right.
Go.
Is this a furlong yet? I wanted to say furlong.
Go.
This appears to be. Oh, no! How does that happen? He tried to cork it out. You know what I'm saying? What was that move? What are you doing? That's a BMX X Games move. You can't do that.
You kind of deserve it, though. You're riding on the horse's back.
You totally
deserve
it
to be kicked off.
Listen, let me tell you this. I'm very intrigued because if anybody in the Breeders' Cup has a horse named after Harambe, I'm 1,000% in. Otherwise, I do not care. Dom, what do you think?
Though this is the most aptly named race because it is all about the breeders and the chemists who put all types of substances in them, I'm still not intrigued.
Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued, but I don't care about the horses. I'm very much interested on the jockeys. I mean, that guy that's right, buddy.
I know what this is. Yes. I knew exactly what that was coming. The moon is out very much during the middle of the day.
If the horses are riding like that, shouldn't the jockeys also be riding out?
You know what? It's a little dangerous, but hey, what are you going to do? Some people show their behind even when they're not trying to.
What's dangerous about it?
Let's just say that certain things are flopping around, Draymond Green style, that you might not want to have in the middle of a hoofed animal running down a track. That's all I'm saying.
Those things don't disappear when you put on pants.
I wouldn't know.
You don't wear pants?
I don't ride horses.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Dan and Boumani will be back next week.
Au revoir, mes amis.
Boy, you speak French too.
Yeah, I learned it in school. So.
Wow. Parlez-vous français? Parlez-vous français? Très bien, monsieur.
I do not speak Spanish. I understand enough Spanish for my friends to speak it, but I don't.
Manage à toi.
That's the only word you need to know.
That's all you need to know. That's actually 3 words.
Number 1 ranked Alabama heads to Death Valley for a huge SEC showdown against LSU.
Snap, fumble, Alabama's got the football.
Coverage begins Saturday at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.